going down to Gold Hive. There's a meeting tonight, and we're going to help with this meeting. It'll be interesting.
Massive altered states of consciousness. The reason why people turn to sex and drugs is because they're looking for a vessel to channel the energies that are coming in to them, the consciousness that's coming to them. They're filling with energy, they're filling with information, with light, with consciousness, right? And the only things that people have to reach for in those circumstances is sex, which is a form of raising energy, and drugs, which is a way of expanding and bringing in new information, right? So what we're doing, what I think that we're going to be able to do with the Goldfire currency is give people a way to channel the desire to bring in and to expand their consciousness in a way that doesn't reach for the same old tropes. I think that's actually part of what we're really doing here on an evolutionary level.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right. Awesome. And that's my goal, honestly, like for this space, is to model the use of the Goldfire currency so that we can get it out into culture. I want millions of people using that currency.
Okay.
That's one of my personal, like, social alchemist goals of this place. Yeah. Veritas is a term that Hildegard von Bingen, she was like an abbess in like the 12th century or something, which this basically means the greening spirit of nature, right? So something I think that we're doing is that we're learning how to kind of function as like extensions of nature by cultivating generative currents, right? You know? So like that's why when Goddess came to me and was like, hey, Gold Hive, she was saying like, look, the experiences that you're generating are the honey in the hive. The Gold Hive is the structure, right? And the experiences, you know, that's all the bubbling, you know, that'll come up, right? So this is kind of, that was the original basis for this. Anyways. Let's call back. Good one. Paying attention.
Gold Hive.
Right hand, right? Everyone's right hand. Fingertips touch, right? Wait, we're doing it again. Okay. So many Instagrammable moments. I'm being present. You're here. It's for those that aren't here. I want to call them in as well.
Yes.
All those that have been supportive and excited, and they're here present with us.
I love that. So I'm on a little bike ride today because I'm not having a great day. My period's probably coming soon, so I just need to get out of the house. So now I'm in downtown San Francisco. Sissy and my sister and I used to come down here all the time. This is Fisherman's Wharf. Haven't been here in a few years now. It's really cute, very touristy, lots of tourists, expensive, but fun because it's you know, you can just run it. It's like being in Times Square in New York, kind of same thing. So you go up the Wiggle. This is the Wiggle that you go up. I'm trying to get it. I want to be in better shape. That's one of my goals. I just Thoth made us lovely chicken stir fry tonight, and I was so excited to film his process that I fell down the ladder. I fell down the entire ladder that goes up to the attic bedroom.
Watch out, little monster.
And I didn't hurt myself, actually. I didn't break anything, or it's amazing that I slammed my lovely shoulder into the staircase, and Thoth was screaming and crying because that's what he does when I get hurt. And tomorrow we're going to go see Scott Levkoff in Santa Cruz. So we're off again. We're going to go to Santa Cruz today to meet Scott Levkoff for breakfast, and maybe go to the beach or something and just meet and hang out and talk. This is so pretty and fun. Is Bunny having fun? It's alright. But it's alright. We're in Santa Cruz now. So pretty. It's been 8 years since Thoth and I have been here. We're having breakfast with Scott. Look what I found at the thrift store. Isn't it cute? It's a cutie. Bunny, can you hold this for a second and let everyone see? See me? Cute. What's that, Bunny, that you have on? Are you a lamb?
Lamb.
Are you a lamb?
I'm a lamb.
Do you want a fluffy jacket?
Yeah, I'm always looking.
Looking for a fluffy jacket? Look at you! He's a lamb. He's a lamb and sweet. Scott, come here. Come here.
We're gonna apply it immediately. No, I actually maybe a little later.
Yeah, end scene. End scene. It's very good. Buddy got a tail. Yeah, do you need help? I think you need.
Jamaican Queens.
Okay.
Do you have a specific place that you want us to stop, Scott?
Yeah.
There's a couple places up here a little bit further that we can stop at, but that'll be a little less populated.
Okay.
But they're like these.
Look of it.
Oh, that's great.
So that's like, you know, the village is comprised of
Fantastic.
characters. They
Build all this.
they all sing in order
Yes.
to converse with each other.
Wow.
And I see them all as we see them as like circus performer type characters. But, I mean, like these kind of things could be made out of cardboard and painted.
That's vacuform stuff. And warbler. Probably warbler.
What's warbler?
This
Have we ever told
is
this story?
really.
I think we tried to a little bit, but seeing the art, I think the artwork really helps with the visuals. And it's funny because I've been working on this and we worked on the story, but I was working on this before I started, so I was manifesting all the characters really before the story came. And then the story came and all the characters were there.
And they're actually, their hands are black, but they have these like spindly like arm things that
Right.
like are sticking out. You know, so when they're moving around, they're actually, their hands are down here wearing all black, but there's these like weird spindly things that are like this. The face is on the top of their
Oh,
head.
that would be so
And they're like,
cool.
you know, right? I mean, that's totally hype. Right? So
That would be
they're-
so cool.
Then you get acrobats, and they're down, right? And they're down, right? And it's just a little armatures that are kind of, you know, on springs.
And the
Little
face
tiny
is kind
hands.
of here.
This is here, right? And they're moving
Oh.
around, right?
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, like
So cool.
That have sets that roll out and kind of like unfold and furl, or they kind of like move very slowly.
Ooh.
So there's, you know, technicians behind them just rolling them slowly. There's all this cellophane and light.
Light
then you
coming
also-
through the.
Yeah, and you also have the projection of the world behind it. So imagine this broken into multiple planes,
Ooh.
right? So you have projection on the ground, or lighting, gobos, this patterning, and then this is a plane.
And it moves
This is a
in one
plane.
way, and they could be moving opposite directions.
Yeah,
Kind
and
of
they're all moving.
floating.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool, Scott.
Yeah.
Projection behind it.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Uh huh.
I mean, this is easy to translate. You just digitize this.
Funny that
You
Scott
just
so couldn't do that.
yeah,
that's
you just
how he
select all the
thinks.
pieces
It's
out.
That's how he
very
thinks. He
interesting.
thinks like this.
Yeah.
Easy. I mean, you
Thank
created
you.
a style guide that like just spells all this stuff out, you know. And there's even and you've created a number of different styles too. So this style has kind of like a medieval manuscript quality to it. So you can even have call outs to like setting up the history of the world, or stuff that's like
Ooh.
from another time in this
Uh-huh.
universe that's actually represented by this style. It
Okay.
has this kind of illuminated manuscript thing.
Just to give it.
You
Oh,
have the-
oh, I see what you
see
mean.
what I'm
Like
saying?
they're off and on the sides.
like
the,
if there's narration that calls out to like these elements of the world
Once
or stuff
long
that's
ago,
setting,
there
you know,
was-
right? And it
Where the
has.
sage would
There
do
were
that.
these-
You see, yeah,
Yeah.
like this could be the language of the sage.
Yeah, the sage.
In a
would
way,
do
when
that
he's
because
speaking,
sages, yeah, would
he's
speak.
speaking of this.
Yeah.
And then there's a language of, you know,
The
your
fen
name?
of Alavia.
Right, Alavia, right? Like, so she has a language
Okay.
visually.
Right.
So then you're getting visually, you're getting a
Interesting.
dialogue between these different styles.
Different worlds.
To like
and-
really like,
Mhm.
you
Because
know?
it becomes more realistic when you have
Again, it's
history
just
and-
listening
It goes
to the
deeper.
logic of the
It goes
world.
deep into
Yeah.
a history of it.
You know, right? Yeah,
Right.
like work here. I mean, that's just straight up. That's hand painted applique on bodysuits.
I love how I don't have to like try to explain we don't have to explain too hard because I can just show you. You
no, and
you were
these-
looking at it and you knew what was
Yeah,
happening.
Yeah, no, these are sculptural puppet. I mean, these are you've.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
have
a
drawing
head.
chops. Yeah, well, I mean, just being sculpting these.
That's a head. You just sculpt it and
as,
put it
like,
on somebody.
These weird, like contorted, and having these things like transform over the course of the show, where you see the people like in their transformation of how they're being kind of warped and mutated and perverted, and these
Ooh.
things kind of
Yeah,
change throughout
yeah,
the show,
yeah.
and they just get weirder and darker and kind of more twisted.
More the teeth
be
come
bad.
out.
To
and-
indicate that like they're moving further and further away from their humanity or their inner light or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
Really beautiful. I mean, this is harrowing.
Yeah, I love this. This is really like the extreme. That's like the. This is what I imagine the huge confrontation, the apex of the
Yeah.
show happening. He this screaming fight, and it just all kind of blows apart, and then it's all healed.
Is there ever, like in the presentation of the stranger in any part of the narrative, is he always just sort of kind of like a bad guy? Does he ever have any other like, you
That's
know,
a really good question.
right? Because when I look at a skull, like I see the ancestors. I see the ancestors and the allies, and right, you know,
Right,
like
yeah,
people
yeah.
project on skulls kind of like a personification of death or darkness or despair or fear,
Right.
right? So I'm thinking about kind of the personification of this character, you know.
What's the depth level for him?
But that's it. That's kind of what you like doing.
What? I like drawing skulls.
Yeah.
I love drawing skulls.
It's not
yeah.
necessarily that it's just that's what she does.
Yeah.
I'm covering a whole page in
This
skulls
is
right
all.
now.
This is kind of like the raven wings, and it's almost like the time.
But
Timepiece, yeah.
Dripping.
in my whole understanding of this, I don't see the stranger as the art and the artist as separate being. I see them as the good and the bad that have been split and need to reconcile and come together so that they can act.
Gotcha.
Embrace
So
each
I-
other and
I don't know
understand
if
that they're
it's
part
So
of
this
each
is sort
other.
of the face of like basically of separation.
Yeah, and despair.
Of
And,
disenfranchisement from your own
yeah,
sovereign power and
And-
race.
yeah.
Yeah. This is sort of that
it's-
mask.
it's the
what
dripping
can,
of-
what can unite that and help that maybe is to find what the artist then is missing, because not only does the stranger trying to destroy his dream and world, but there's something in the stranger that the artist needs to even be more powerful as a creative force.
In order, he must have the stranger.
Yeah, there's something about the stranger, which is what Scott's referring to right now, that may be helpful in helping to understand what about, there's not just the negative thing that he's doing, but he has some power that the artist needs that can manifest even more fully his world.
So this is where the power of the magical theater comes in. Like there's the point in the conflict, like in the heightened battle of the conflict, where you almost see like the artist and the stranger somehow they're battling, and you see the artist like perhaps disappears, and the stranger looks like he's there,
Right.
and then he actually takes this off, and it's the artist.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then he's holding it, he's looking at it,
Yeah,
going like,
James would do that real good
That's
too.
me.
right? He's just like, okay. Because it's, that's embracing the via negativa of the
Yeah.
alchemical process. If this is a representation of the dross, you know, the lower body,
Right.
you know, the stuff that we want to reject and we want to get rid of, but it's actually fuel. You know, it's actually
Fear
it's there.
and all that. You know, we have to have
can
fear in
harness
order
it,
to keep going.
Which is present in the story, so we're just kind of bringing it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Without having to have a bunch of other, because the minute you bring any other
But that,
artists or performers on board, things like complexify very quickly. You know,
Yeah.
but like telling the story, like
yeah, that's I wouldn't
narration,
even ever thought of that.
music, and putting that up, just as a little like a sketch, you know, 15-minute.
Sweetie, that's actually really good for it in general. How
It's
we
your pitch.
perform.
It's the pitch for the bigger to raise the money for the show.
Right.
To raise the money for the show. You know, just it creates this rich dialogue, you know, between this sort of bizarre, like psychedelic, Barbarella, like heavenly alien fantasy world.
Do you know
and these-
Barbarella, sweetie?
These
Who's
really
Barbarella?
dark.
She's talking.
No.
Oh yeah, these are some serious Dino De
Barbarella.
Laurentiis. These are some Dino
Jane
De Laurentiis
Fonda.
costumes here, if I ever saw them.
Barbarella
Okay.
is an icon of the 70s, right? 60s, 70s.
Huh. He likes my book.
These are so doable. These are easy. The key with these is the flow and the luminosity. Capturing the luminosity of these can be very
Luminosity, what do you
They
mean?
want to be luminous. They want to really, you know,
Where they're lit up from the
maintain
inside
this,
and
just this light, all the diaphanous
yeah.
fabric, you know, is like really important.
I mean, these can all be like glittery, like glowing from the inside with paint or lights or
Yeah.
balls of colored lights inside.
Nuts. Really high standards, and that's why I'm able to like do corporate stuff, you know. And then I also love fostering community, and I love fostering amateur
Yep.
kind of people,
Inspiring
like,
people.
coming into their power and their confidence and stuff, and like figuring out how to bring over one to the other can be very, very challenging.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like especially like it seems like younger folks these days, they just don't have a dedication to excellence, and to like really
wanna
developing
cheat.
something.
They
They want to cheat. They want it
cheat
fast.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
she
know?
would have cheated if we didn't meet.
So I didn't meet him.
Yeah.
It's-
Well, I think to pull this stuff off effectively, you need to find some collaborators that really know how to interpret this in a way that so it looks really legit.
It looks
It
like
needs
it
to
looks.
look otherwise
It looks better than
like,
it looks in the book.
It
Instead
needs
of
to look like
Okay.
Cirque du Soleil quality,
Yeah.
and not
That
community
sounds great.
theater quality.
yeah.
And if that means just taking the time to like find the people, to find the money, to do it right, then
we
it's
can do
worth
it. We can do it already.
You know?
We just need to have the people.
Yeah, and I think just getting people excited, which means just like sharing
That's a
some of the work.
self-investment. That's a good
Having
investment.
having like all of those pieces, God, like having those pieces from the treatment.
Of the movement of the story as an actual stage production.
Okay.
So like, what are the chapters? Meet
See-
the artist. You know, well, there's the prologue,
Okay.
then there's there's
We
kind
have
of
that-
an overture, then
Yeah,
there's
that's
the
actually-
narration.
that's actually
We've
done.
kind of
artist
done
comes
that.
in.
We've
That's
kind of
done
done.
like broken
already.
down.
We got it
so
done.
like, do you?
We did it already.
I want to see that.
Okay.
Right.
I would love to see that.
You did it already.
Yeah.
We got stuck
and,
on
and
the.
the music's written.
We- We have music.
ostinatos are written down.
Ostinatos finished.
So there's the stranger's theme, right? There's
Yeah.
the artist's theme.
Yeah, we have
There's
all
the
the.
sages, like
Yeah.
you know.
We're
Oh,
we have
amazing.
we have it done to a certain
Yeah.
degree. We stopped for a couple
exciting.
months.
Yeah, we
Isn't it?
stopped at
Committing to a level of like groundedness and kind of like methodical practice to be able to like create the conditions that can actually start birthing this, you know. And you know, luckily, like hopefully, if we do things right, Gold Hive will provide a fertile platform with which to start to kind of expand some of this. But I just, it's so beautiful, it's so otherworldly and colorful, and I couldn't, you know, I think it's a really incredible match for us to like work together.
Yay!
It's a joy, and it's a privilege, you know.
I'm
like,
so
super
glad that
honored.
I'm so glad that I kept going.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I mean,
It's
I
so fantastic.
I can't even tell you, like, there were sometimes when we got thrown out of our spot in Lisbon, we had 3 weeks where we were trapped in Lisbon before we had to leave to go back to America. We didn't want to go back to America. We couldn't stay. And I kept fucking drawing these characters every single day, and I didn't stop, and I didn't know why I was doing it or what the point was. And every day I'm like, what am I, this is so pointless. It's nothing's going to happen. It's all over. And now here we are. And it is worth it. And I can't give up.
Yes.
And it's
Really fun.
this, and you have a tail. So this was the magical meeting point. This was the magical meeting point where I showed Scott my art book. We told him about the Pantheon of Electric Beasties, and he wants to help us manifest it.
I feel I had to put a magical mystery coat to witness
It's really cool.
the majesty of the notebook. Tiny box thing.
Isn't that funny? This is crazy. This is her own style.
I love Scott and
Love
Thoth,
Scott.
and this is a magical moment that just happened.
We have a loving moment.
Thank you,
here.
Scott.
Creative love explosion. Woo!
And Cookie.
Like these little lit-up crowns or gold crowns, and then doing some very like stylized kind of gesture makeup.
Okay. Yeah.
Really lovely. You know, throw in some of those images, you know, projection, and it'll just boom, it'll start feeling like theater.
Yep.
You know, from like children's fairy tale to it. It's more lyrical and prose-like. You know, there's a number of different ways you go in developing it. You know,
That is more.
just like to expand the world. You know,
Right, okay.
Like, and making it like a musical. And how does the music interact with the actual like speaking dialogue? You know, like what is the relationship there? How does that work?
Right.
I've seen musicals where there's almost no dialogue whatsoever.
It's all music.
It's opera.
You know,
It's opera.
The thing is, you know, it could be that there's a projection of action that's occurring. Like there's like an actual narration projected when things are in another language, like they do with opera.
Yeah.
Like that's interesting, so that you're not actually having to like, if you can continue to sing in this otherworldly language, but people, they're going to still want to know what's happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
And
how are you driving the exposition
How do we? Right.
of the story?
Well, what would having a writer come in do? What would that? How would that change it? In your mind?
Well, it wouldn't change it. It would just flesh out the characters and the emotional content.
Emotional depth of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we do want to have it be more of a in-depth story, but still keep the poetic feelings of that people can take it different directions if they want to. Because I mean, we're totally into amorphous, emotional amorphous feelings that people feel all different kinds of feelings when they listen to us, and it's always been a bit tough and a bit hesitant for us to really put hard and cold words to things, but that is kind of.
How can we get to 280? Sorry.
It's okay.
This is it, man. Just stay.
You're good.
No, stay on this. 92 goes to 280.
Do you have chicken? Is it nice chicken? He's a kitty cat with chicken in his mouth. Very sweet. Yummy.
Those are really good chicken, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the one from Oakland.
Yeah, it's not as good.
It's not as good as that.
It's a nice dinner after a lovely day. That's awesome. So tell me when you saw, where you saw him before? Or last?
Yeah.
But I remember you, and I remember your fiddling, and I remember your singing. And I remember, I saw when you guys walked by, I was doing something, and I wanted to go.
You'd love what we do now. Oh shit, this is so weird. Look at him. Look, he's naked.
Your husband is?
Yes. Oh my god, this is so weird. Yeah, okay.